Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today in DC Dark Legion, we're going to be talking about Martian Manhunter. He is finally in the game, and with him, he brings a new tag. He brings some new teammates. He's not what I was expecting, but I think he's pretty cool. We're going to talk about his kit, the testing that I've done over the last couple days, whether I think you should go for him or not, ultimately up to you, but here are my thoughts, so let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Let's talk about Martian Manhunter. Very excited to finally have him in the game. A lot of people have been looking forward to him getting into the game here. Very cool art design. I really like it. He is a little bit different than what we were expecting, though. I think we were more expecting him to be focused on Justice League, and he's not. He brings a new tag with him, which is Outsiders. Once you get Outsiders on your team here, you're going to increase HP as well as counterattack damage. We'll talk about what John contributes to that here in just a minute. But let's talk about this ability first. First, he's got heat beams that's going to fire out of his eyes, causing some spiritual damage. So he is a spiritual damage dealer, and his damage is based off his attack like we've seen in most of our heroes. This ability here, I think this puts him kind of on the same train of thought that I have as Superman. Superman, you want to get to 5 white stars because that's when he gets some additional defense that kicks in. For John, similarly, I think it's 3 white stars. But you get that second copy, you're going to get, at the start of battle, physical defense as well as mental defense. That's your spiritual damage defense is going to increase by 15%. So you're going to get that increased defense. So you want at least 2 copies of him. For free to play, get him up to 5 white stars to get that additional defense. You get him up to that 4 blue stars, that's going to double up to 30%. One thing I did notice with him, which I think is very cool, is as a warrior, I did see his damage and his survivability scale pretty well when you go from 0 stars to 5 white stars to blue stars. So as you continually rank them up, it scales pretty well. So it's pretty nice. This ability here, Telepathic Bulwark, this is what calls out Outsiders, right? So again, we thought he was going to be a little more focused on Justice League. He's not. So he gets some increased attack here. But at the start of battle, if there's at least 3 Outsiders, so we do have those 3 coming, then the duration of Mind Ward is going to be increased by 5 seconds. That's part of his ultimate. We'll talk about that in a second. With him comes Arsenal. Arsenal is a mythic. He's not a bleed banner hero, but you can pull him from the bleed and you can pull him from mother boxes. I'm not too familiar with his kit right now, but I'm curious if he's going to have a counterattack component to it or if it's just going to be a counterattack damage. I'm not sure exactly. I know some people out there do have him. I've not seen his kit just yet. We also have a third character coming in, which I believe is going to be the bleed character after Martian Manhunter, which everybody thinks is Starfire. So I'm curious what her kit's going to bring. And a lot of people are saying that she's a support. I haven't seen anything about that, but I'm sure they got it from somewhere. So we have a support character, we have a warrior, we've got firepower with Arsenal, we got 2 other characters that we have no idea who they are to be added to this tag for a full 5-character team. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we got a global skill here, increases champions defense by 4% as well as warrior champions defense. Ultimate, let's talk about the ultimate a little bit here. With this here, he's going to link minds with all of his allies, granting them Mind Ward for 10 seconds. What that does is when the target gets hit by a skill other than a basic, then Martian Manhunter is going to perform a counterattack. So that's where the counterattack damage increase comes into play. He's going to do a certain amount of damage based on his attack. The rest of his ultimate here, when John carries Mind Ward, taking basic attack damage reduces cooldown of one of his abilities here, this rage ability, by 2 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every second. So that's this ability here where he's firing heat beams out of his eyes. All right, that is his kit. Pretty interesting. I like what the kit shows on paper. I want these other 2 characters so that we can get 3 Outsiders together and really put a lot of this into practice. And I can't wait to see what the full 5-character team is going to be. Gear, I've got him in all 500 gear. Right now I put him in Gabriel Horn, and the reason for that is because I want this energy gain bonus. I want his energy gain to increase. Let me go back to his abilities here. One thing I didn't really call out was this right here. At the start of battle with this one, Martian Manhunter gains 18 energy. That's one thing I've been focusing on with his force, is this right here. I want to increase his energy gain again so that we can launch his ultimate, get that Mind Ward going so we can get those counterattacks going. Get that launched quickly and as often as possible. So again, back to the gear. We've got energy gain with Gabriel Horn. I got some HP, which is going to help with him being a warrior and on the front lines. Also, HP increase down here. as well as he's providing increased attack to his allies. So I thought this was a pretty good one to put on him. Let's talk about Force. Force, I'm really focused on Spiritual Amp, so I want to increase the amount of damage he does. And again, on the Outsiders Forever, I want to get that energy gain up as high as I can. Other than that, you're going to want to increase his attack. I'm going to hold off on this one for a little while. And then I think this one here is a good one as well because you got that increased attack as well. So you really want to focus on his attack, his Spiritual Amp. And I think we've tested him out for just a few days. He's only been out for a few days, but I think this is a good one, the energy gain. Let's go ahead and take a look at his mythic piece, his Mythic Plus Legacy piece. I think it's really cool. So here it is right here. So HP, Spiritual Amp, so obviously his survivability, the increased damage. This, his Ronmir's Vengeance here. So every time an enemy casts a skill or their ultimate, then Martian Manhunter restores some HP. So he's got some self-healing here, which I think is cool. And then Piercing Gaze, every time an ally casts their ultimate, their attack and physical defense are permanently increased by 8%, stacking up to 40%. So this is really bolstering the defense of the team and their survivability. I'm very excited to get this piece. This is the one I'm going for right now. I've got like 100 of these things. I need 100 more, but that's going to be the piece I'm going for next because I really want to test it out. I think it's going to be fun. All right, so let's talk about what he can do. So I think the cool thing with him is he is a warrior, and I think they learned from, I don't know, I don't mean disrespect. I don't mean that disrespectful at all, but if you take a look at Hawk Girl, she's a warrior, but she really should be, from all the testing, I feel that she really should be a guardian. When we take a look at John here, as a warrior, he's got some good survivability, and he's got some good damage. He doesn't blow everybody out of the way as far as damage goes, but I feel it is very well balanced, whereas with Hawk Girl, not so balanced. So I think they did a good job there. If you're going to invest in him, like I was talking about, get him up to at least 5 white stars if you are a free-to-play player. If you're a light spender, get him into the blue stars. That would be my recommendation there. When we talk about what he's good at, I think he's good at combat cycle. Not so much this one. This is going to be difficult because with the drown, pushing your melee characters away, this is a ranged battle, and he's a melee hero. So what I was running into with his damage as I was scaling him up against Devastator, at 0 stars, he was coming in around 480k on his damage. I bump him up to the 5 white stars. We get a healthy boost up to 650k. And then another, once we get to 2 blue stars, boost up to 750k. Once you get him, I just got him 1 extra star of the 3 blue stars, and he goes to almost double that, up to 1.3 million. So some nice scaling there with his damage. I can't really prove that too much here with the combat cycle. If you go ahead and take a look at my stream, you'll see all the testing that we did with him the other day. It was a lot of fun. Training Simulator, I think he's going to be pretty decent in as well. Let's go ahead. I'll throw him into here really quick. His damage here is more in the 100,000s. I think really for him, though, you're not really looking for him to out-damage anybody here. You're really trying to keep the attention of the enemy on them, on him, on Wonder Woman, and then you got your damage dealers in the background doing as much damage as they can. All right, not too bad. We did get through that one. I was stuck on that one for a little while. Let's take a look at his damage here. So he's coming in at just under 1 million, almost 900,000 right there. So overall, Martian Manhunter, I think he's a pretty decent character. I wouldn't skip him. I'm actually really excited to see what this Outsiders team is going to do. Right now, JLD has been on the top for a long time. I mean, the game has only been out for a couple months, so a long time. That's relative right there. But I'm very curious on what this Outsiders team is going to do and what these other 2 characters are going to bring to the team that we have no idea who they are. So, very fun character. I'm curious on your thoughts. What do you think about him? I did take him into Meta Brawl, and he did decent in there. I think really Combat Cycle Training Simulator is where he's going to shine. All right, and there you go, everybody. That's what I had for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.